Get ready for a story that hits a little too close to home, really, but in the best way. We're talking about a brand new musical coming to Main Street Music Hall for one night only, Nash. Written by Missouri native Kevin Cloud. This isn't your typical feel-good, everything works out kind of show. This one digs into what happens when the dream maybe kind of falls apart, doesn't go the way you planned. It follows a songwriter who takes her shot in Nashville and ends up right back where she started, home, broke, and facing everything she tried to leave behind. Raw, funny, painfully real, and honestly, something a lot of people are going to see themselves in, I think. Kevin's joining us now to talk about Nash, the story behind it, and why this one-night-only show might hit harder than you expect. Thank you so much for joining me, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Now, this story, it isn't your typical chasing your dream story. It's more like what happens after the dream kind of falls apart. What made you want to tell that version?
Yeah, so the idea for the story came when I was actually in Nashville about 5 years ago, and I met a young woman at a secondhand clothing store. My wife was doing some shopping, and I was talking to her about how things were going. I was like, "Are you a musician?" She's like, "Everybody in Nashville plays music, like every single person." And I was like, "Well, how's it going?" And she said, "Well, actually, I've been here about 3 years. I had a gig last night. Not a single person came out to see me." And she was like, "I just don't know what I'm doing here. I think it might be time to go home." And so that story just really stuck with me, this idea of how hard it is to create art and music that people care about, and the story of what happens when people do kind of give up on their dream and go back home and try to confront the life that they're forced to live now, and whether or not they want to settle for that life or whether they want to keep taking a shot at the dream.
Okay, so she goes home, and what does home kind of represent in this story for her?
Yeah, home for her is the town she always wanted to leave behind. Home for her is the life she never expected to leave. It's the life that she wanted to kind of leave in the rearview mirror, and things don't work out the way she wants. She kind of gets chewed up and spit out by the music industry in Nashville, and goes back home and has to kind of really confront some hard questions about her life, her family, an ex-boyfriend, and whether or not that is the life that she is going to now have to be forced to live.
That's a lot to handle. Like for the audience, is there a particular emotional gut punch that you would have them brace for?
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really lighthearted, and it's also it's an emotional story. I mean, it's a hard story. It's someone that goes through a lot of trauma, that goes through a lot of difficult experiences, and really has to confront this question of how much do dreams cost, and is it worth the risk, and is it worth the pain sometimes of continue to chase after this thing that you want so badly, but that is costing you so much.
Okay, so I understand we do have some music too in there. What are we talking about? Country or more musical theater, or something in between?
Yeah, no, it's not musical theater. I kind of call it Nashville pop. So like Casey Musgraves, Ben Rector. It's kind of in the style of Nashville. It's not really country, but like pop Nashville is what I would call it. But they're really fun. They're really memorable songs. Melodies really stick with you, and I think it's going to be music that people really enjoy listening to.
All right, so it sounds like it's going to be a hit, I think, especially hard for anyone who's ever taken a big swing, though, and missed. And what do you hope that they walk away feeling with this?
Yeah, the one of the big themes from our show is just this idea of perseverance. Of no matter what life throws at you, are you going to get up off the mat and keep chasing after your dream, keep chasing after the life that you want? And the finale is this song called "Get Up and Go," and it's just this idea of like no matter what happens to you, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how difficult things might seem, can you reach deep down inside and still be the kind of person that gets up and goes and chases after the life you want?
Yeah, great. So, and you're bringing the show to Osage Beach at Main Street Music Hall, one night only performance. What do you like about staging the performance here?
Well, it's interesting. The story takes place in Central Missouri. I mean, it's called Nash, but it's really the way the script is written. You kind of bounce back and forth between what happened to this young woman in Nashville and then the life that she's building now in Central Missouri. And so probably 2/3 of the show takes place in a small town in Central Missouri. It's not a name town. We kind of wanted to leave it ambiguous. But so I love the idea that we're bringing it to Osage Beach and to Main Street Theater and kind of telling this story that's really set in kind of small town rural Missouri.
Now, if someone's on the fence right now, they're like, well, I don't know. Should I really go? Why do you think they really ought to be in that room on April 25th and see the show?
Yeah, this is the fourth musical I've written. It's the best musical I've written. We just got into a festival at another theater that was very, very difficult to get into. We have some producers that are showing interest in the show. This show, I really feel like it's going places, and going to see this on Saturday night can be one of those like, oh my gosh, I saw it then. I can't believe I saw that show at Osage Beach, Main Street Theater. Now look at everything that's happened with it. So this is your chance to be able to go see something where you can 5 years from now say to your friends, oh my gosh, I was there when it started, type of a thing.
Yeah, I love the optimism. So it's Nash, a new musical, and it's on the stage this Saturday at Main Street Music Hall, 7:30. The tickets are at mainstreetmusichall.com. Kevin Cloud, thank you so much for your work, and thank you for bringing it to us, and thank you for having some time to spend with me today.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and hope we see a lot of you out on a Saturday night.